Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first Pelotonia Live of the year and our first event of Pelotonia 2021 Launch Week. We're so excited for you all to be here with us and spend the next 45 minutes with us today. Hopefully, talking about riding in August will warm you up on this really cold day that we're having here in Columbus, Ohio. For those of you who don't know me today, I am Carolyn Applehans. I am the Community Engagement Coordinator here at Pelotonia. As you saw on the waiting screen, we have a lot of events for you all to partake in this week. Most importantly is registration launch, which opens this Thursday, February 18th at 12 p.m. Our friends at Safe Flight provided us with a very generous gift to help encourage you all to register early and fundraise early. And we will be hosting another registration bonus incentive this year. So make sure you register this Thursday or Friday and then receive 3 unique donations before the end of the month. To be eligible to receive a $100 bonus donation, there's up to 500 potential winners. So make sure you don't miss out on taking a part of that opportunity. Now I'm going to invite some of my colleagues who are on the call with me today to join me on screen. Get them into the call. Awesome. So today we have with us Eric Oslowski, who's celebrating a birthday today. So make sure everyone wish Eric a happy birthday. Jill Londino, who's going to take us through the new Pelotonia.org in just a few minutes. And then as always, our president and CEO, Doug Allman, who's going to get things started for us today.
Welcome. It's so great to see everybody and be with you for what is going to be a truly legendary year. Carolyn, I want to thank you for your hard work. It's great to be with you and Eric and Jill. We are so excited about what this year will bring. And I know that many of you have seen a lot of the social media posts and received emails from us that have talked about how we're planning to execute a legendary experience yet again this year. And we'll get into more of the details throughout the next hour. But I wanted to start by just saying how grateful we are for our partners at the James who have contributed so much over the last year to cancer research and who have continued to keep the labs open, continue to fuel innovation, and ultimately continue to save and improve lives. And at the end of the day, Pelotonia is a platform. It's a community of people coming together to do something that none of us could possibly do on our own. And that's what we're going to do yet again in 2021. So whether you choose to join us this year as a rider in person in August or a volunteer or a challenger, please know that our mission, our collective mission, is more critical today than it's ever been. In fact, there are so many unanswered cancer research questions that didn't even exist a year ago. Things about the pandemic and how it relates to an individual who might be undergoing cancer therapy. There's also a huge need to study and understand what is happening when it comes to diagnostic testing. Are people putting off their screenings, their colonoscopy, their PSA exam, their mammography, et cetera? And we're just so beyond grateful to have such great partners who are in the lab each and every day doing the work. In fact, the Pelotonia Institute for Immuno-Oncology is about to launch a new trial. Stay tuned for details on that, but it will be related to the pandemic and the impact of COVID-19 on cancer patients and survivors. So there's so much to be optimistic and hopeful about. And by looking forward to August and being with all of you, we are going to fuel more and more innovative cancer research. So we can't thank you for all that you have done in the past, and we hope you're as excited as we are as we leap into the plans for 2021.
Thanks, Doug. And I know we're all on our team super excited to see every community member back in Columbus this year for Ride Weekend. Can you talk a little bit about what participants can expect to see from safety measures put into place?
Absolutely. Given what we've all experienced over the last year, we knew how important it would be to develop a plan over many months that adequately addressed all of the potential safety concerns that anyone might have in participating in an event like Pelotonia. So I know you and Eric and Jill and Chris and Lauren and so many others have been so intimately involved in the details of what this looks like. So I'll give you a few examples. We have been able to design 7 routes for people to choose from this year that allows us to spread people out. So whether it's at the starting chute where people will be spread out and distanced, or whether it's even out on the road or at a rest stop, we are going to stage and make sure people are in small enough groups that everybody has the chance to participate and enjoy the Pelotonia ride without the crowding that has occurred at some level in the past. We're also going to make sure the rest stops are totally redesigned and reimagined. So there will be pre-packaged food and beverages, enabling everybody to eat and drink safely during the course of their rides. We've also developed an amazing 2-day experience that doesn't require overnight housing. Clearly, putting strangers together in dorms was not in the cards this year, given the pandemic. And so those are just a few examples of things that we're doing that will make this year feel different, and yet the mission is the same. How can we all come together to achieve something that none of us could do on our own? And I would just also add that we've had such tremendous partners at the university and in the public health field, whether it's at the city or the county or beyond, who've advised us and helped us develop these plans. So we're excited about this year. We're excited about the measures that we've put in place to ensure the community's safe and that they feel confident in participating. And we can't wait to launch later this week.
Yeah, Chris and Lauren and our team have done a fantastic job thinking about all the safety measures and really making sure that everyone will be safe and can have just the greatest experience as they have in years past. Thanks for that info, Doug. Now I'm going to have Eric join us back on screen. There's a couple different ways that participants can register in 2021. And Eric, can you share a little bit about each of those ways and the options that participants can register in this year?
Yeah, thanks, Carolyn, and hello to everyone out there. So glad you all can join us today to kick off launch week. So there's going to be 3 ways to participate in Pelotonia this year. That's not unlike previous years. Of course, everyone will have the opportunity to ride. And as Doug mentioned or hinted at, there's 7 different routes that we have, including some 2-day ride options. We also will have the Challenger platform, which is the new format for what was our previous virtual ride, and also the My Pelotonia platform from last year. So a great way for someone who's not interested in cycling, or maybe who's going to be out of town during ride weekend, or maybe someone who's out of town just in general and can't make it into Columbus, a great way for you to participate. The format of the Challenger platform will be similar to what we did last year in My Pelotonia, which many of you participated in, and we saw great adoption and got great feedback on that. You'll be able to create anywhere from 1 to 5 personal goals that will define your Pelotonia this year. And that will be your platform to go out and raise money from your friends, your coworkers, your family. Those goals can be physical in nature. They can be running or walking or hiking, kayaking, swimming, whatever you want, or they can be community impact goals as well. So think about volunteering at different places around where you live. Really, the sky's the limit, and you're only hindered by your own creativity as it relates to creating those goals. And then the third way to participate is our volunteer platform. And listen, everyone knows that it takes an army of volunteers to put on Pelotonia weekend. So we're going to need a large group to help us really bring that to fruition. A little bit different this year, and Doug mentioned that things are going to look different on ride weekend. So we're still working through exactly what those volunteer roles are going to be. So when we launch on the 18th at noon, as Carolyn mentioned, those who are interested in volunteering with us will register as a general volunteer for right now, as we work through what the different job responsibilities will look like. And then later this spring, we'll actually open up those different jobs for each of you to register for.
Awesome, thank you. And I know a lot of people and a lot of questions we've been getting about are rider specific questions. Can you talk a bit about what riders can expect to see in 2021 and what route options they'll see as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Doug mentioned, we've got 7 different really dynamic and great ride options here that you're going to see on the screen. So we have ride options on both Saturday and Sunday this year. Okay, and it's important to know that all of these routes are new, providing a new dynamic from previous years. So if we look at Saturday first, we will have a 20, a 50, an 80, and a 100-mile route option. All of these are point to point. You can see that the 20, the 50, and the 100 are going to originate from downtown Columbus. The 20 and the 50 will finish in New Albany. The 100 will finish up in Gambier at Kenyon College. And then our 80-mile route will originate from New Albany and finish in Gambier as well. Of note, the 100-mile route will have that fork in the road and allow you to choose a hilly and a less hilly option. Right now, the hilly option looks like it's going to have a few more feet of elevation on it. So for those of you who are up to the challenge, put on your climbing shoes. It's going to be fun. And then we will have on Sunday a repeat of the 20 and the 50-mile routes. And again, this is a nod to, as Doug mentioned earlier, providing as many spots and accommodating as many people as possible to ride this year. So we will repeat that 20 and the 50 on Sunday, starting from downtown Columbus and finishing up in New Albany. And then we will also have a 100-mile route. And the difference for this route is this is going to be a loop, not a point-to-point. So it'll start and finish in New Albany. It does create a dynamic experience for our 2-day riders, which is a great segue there to talk about that. If you are interested in riding 2 days, you will have to ride 80 or 100 on Saturday and then pair that with the 100 on Sunday. Again, it'll be a great experience, a little bit of a different route for you on day 2 that'll be challenging and a lot of fun as well.
Awesome. We'll stop sharing this. I think riders are super excited about the new route options this year and a lot of different combinations that you guys can sign up for. So make sure you sign up on Thursday and get started on your fundraising efforts. And then last, certainly not least, we're going to bring Jill Londino back onto screen now, and she is going to take you through the new By Pelotonia website, which our team is super excited to unveil to you guys all today. Before I hand it over to her, make sure you guys throw any questions you have in the Q&A chat feature, and we'll be sure to answer those after Jill is completed.
All right, cool. Once Carolyn lets me share my screen here, I will pop up a view of the website, the new and improved pelotonia.org, which you can all look at on your own in your own browsers, because it is fully live after, oh gosh, over a year of planning. We feel so proud to finally reveal this fresh new look to the entire community. So if you've gone on pelotonia.org in just the last 4 days, this is what you will see here. Like I said, just a refresh view of Pelotonia and our community and how you can get involved. So we hope that anybody who visits this website gets a really clear picture of what our community invests in, where the dollars go, how you can participate, what we've raised over time, and to really find all of the resources, whether it's inspiration about reading about somebody else's story, about a fundraising letter template, whatever you need, we have it here. So I'm scrolling back up to the top now. I saw a lot of questions in the chat about actual route details. So that's something that we can really just start on here. I encourage, if you're on this call, click around all the website pages. We've really tried to design the new website map so that it's a little bit more condensed than dozens and dozens and dozens of pages that were on the old site. So this page here, that's all about the ride. You click on, you can learn how to register, volunteer, safety, all that jazz. But route information specifically, since that one came up a lot in the chat, these are all the details that we have right now. Will come out a little bit later on with kind of turn-by-turn directions and what the specific route map is. But I encourage you to check these out, get an idea of at least where these start and what days, so you are ready to go on Thursday when you register. I'll also turn your attention to the community hub. This is a really awesome and totally revamped resource that we have available here. Starting with stories. So we, have since the beginning of Pelotonia had a really amazing blog. We update weekly, monthly with stories from community members. So this is that, just supercharged. So we've infused this with a ton of different stories, and whether they're inspirational in terms of why you're motivated to participate in Pelotonia, or really interesting fundraising ideas. This is a really good one there. They're all tagged specifically on kind of what the theme of the content is. So would encourage everybody in the next couple of days, and of course throughout the year, to repeatedly check on the community stories here for everything that you need to stay motivated and translate that motivation into fundraising resources. So in the past, we've really just had our fundraising toolkit available. This is an extension of the fundraising toolkit. You can see a sample fundraising letter that you can download really easily. copy and paste that into an email and you are ready to go. All kinds of other good resources here for how to share on social media, how to host a fundraising event. That can be a virtual event or an in-person event, whenever the time is right. So a lot of really strong resources that we've been working on here for you. So lastly, let's talk about the ride registration page, because this is really where everybody's going to turn their attention to in a few short days here. So if you want to register to ride, you're going to get this message right now that says registration is not yet started, but this is where you're going to go starting on Thursday. If you have attempted to log into the website in the last couple of days, you'll be able to see a profile like this, which is essentially just your unregistered profile page. So this is an entirely new option in respect to the Pelotonia site. We've only previously allowed you to log into your page whenever you're registered for a ride year. Moving forward, you can log in 365 days a year, even if you're not registered at that moment. So that's going to be really helpful for looking at your donor information, just updating your address. If you need to pull a Christmas card list of addresses, it's all going to be there for you. So this is essentially my unregistered profile, where I can upload my profile photo. New on the profiles, we have these cover photos here, similar to Facebook or Twitter. You can really kind of punch up your imagery on your profile. Once it's time, noon on Thursday, I'll click here to register. I can click here to learn more about Pelotonia resources available to me. Again, on Thursday, it's really just kind of a quick ad for those challenger goals throughout the year. It's available on your profile. Edit your story, which everybody is used to. And then this tab makes it really easy to understand, okay, here's all the donations that I've ever gotten. And then on the flip side, here are the donations that I have given. And if I want to download a list of all of those, I can do so. So we try to make it really simple for you to surface and access all of the information that's going to be helpful for you throughout the year. And this is really, think of this as version 1. We're going to be making additions and edits to the site really for the next couple of months. So if you're registered, we will be certain to let you know as soon as those new additions go live. But just in the next couple of months, you can expect to see additional resources on this profile that are going to make it really easy to kind of 2-click share to Facebook, to Twitter, to your email directly from the site and solicit, which is a hotly requested feature. We'll have the ability to make recurring gifts to yourself, to another participant, whatever you like. So we are really proud of this, and we really look forward to hearing your feedback as we really get used to the new Pelotonia.org. So I see lots of questions are coming through right now. There is so much that we can go through, but I will leave you with this today and kind of set you on your way to explore Pelotonia.org on your own.
Thank you, Jill. And we can't move forward without giving you a huge shout out for all the work you did to make this new website available for the community. And we'll have Eric and Doug join us back on screen now, and we'll go through some of those questions. Might as well jump into the website ones since, Jill, it's fresh on your mind. A lot of questions about donations that have come in after the 2020 campaign was over. Jill, can you let people know when they would expect to see their donations showing for 2021?
Yeah, absolutely. So any donation that ever existed in the quote unquote old Pelotonia.org, it has been safely and successfully migrated to the new Pelotonia.org. If you received a gift after November 1st until this new site went live, we'll be reaching out to you in the next couple of days here just to let you know what to expect for when those gifts will show on your profile. If there's just a little bit of connecting the dots that we still need to do, but rest assured they are all there and you will get credit for them for your 2020 campaign still.
Awesome. And then another question about if somebody can access their old profile for pictures and stories to share on their new profile, as well as Vanity Url, since that's coming up a bit too. We can just tie that all together.
Yeah, the trifecta, sure. So number one, all stories were migrated. So whatever your last profile story was on your quote unquote old profile, it will be there whenever you log in. If it's not, let us know. All photos, we didn't migrate them because it's a new upload process. This one can hold much larger images, much richer images. We do still have all of those photos saved. So you can reach out to us and we'll send you the photo that was saved on your old profile if you can't access it any other way. But I would encourage you to upload a new photo because the tool works a lot better. You can resize it, you can crop it, and it's a nicer experience. In terms of Vanity URL, so if you have a Vanity URL that existed on, I hate calling it the old Pelotonia, but the quote unquote old Pelotonia, it will still direct to your profile moving forward. So we're not at this time offering the ability for people to set new Vanity URLs. That's something that'll have to come a little bit later on with website enhancements. But no, if you have, mine, for example, is pelotonia.org/Jill and an underscore. If I had that in my email signature for the last 5 years, you don't have to change it. Moving forward, it will still go to your profile. It will take people to the right place.
Awesome. Thank you for that explanation. Brenda Ward had a great question about, let me see it. Is there a rider limit on any route? Is there any chance of getting shut out of a route if you don't register early? I'll throw that one over to Doug if you don't mind answering that one.
Sure. Great question. So obviously, in an effort to keep people as safe as possible and distanced as much as possible, we are going to stage people in waves. And so what we are going to do is monitor very closely the registration starting noon on Thursday. And we'll be watching them by the hour and by the day to see how many people are registering for the various routes. If at some point we feel like there are getting to a point where there's too many people in one specific route, we may have to limit participation. We're not doing that on the front end, but we're going to be looking at it really closely. So while this comment may sound self-serving, register early and encourage people to register early, because that will guarantee your spot in your preferred route. Again, we are going to have multiple start lines and multiple options on both Saturday and Sunday to give everybody a chance to ride, because the goal is to give as many people as possible the opportunity to participate on the bike this year.
Awesome. And then since Eric talks about what riders can expect this year, I'll have him answer Brent's question. Will shuttles and bike corrals still be the same as years past? And are riders able to sign up for both Saturday and Sunday? Can you go ahead and answer that one, Eric?
Yeah, I think I might keep both of those straight in my mind here. You're asking me to do a lot here for two different questions.
I can for you.
Let me answer the second one first. So there is ride options for Saturday and Sunday, but as of right now, the only ride option for Saturday, Sunday combined is the 80 or the 100 on Saturday and the 100 on Sunday. So again, a nod to what Doug had just mentioned, and really trying to monitoring, participation throughout the spring and summer months, and not knowing at the end of the day, could there potentially be, caps that we have to put in place on specific routes. The only options right now are the 80 and the 100 on Saturday and the 100 on Sunday. So no pairing of a 20 and a 100 or a 20 and a 50 or a 50 and a 20. I think the other one, Carolyn, was about bike corrals and...
Yes, bike corrals and...
Shuttles, right?
Shuttles.
Okay, yep. So to be completely candid with all of you, opening ceremonies right now is an unknown. I think when we're looking at the pandemic, bringing 10 to 15,000 of our closest friends and families together in a small area, we just don't know that we're going to be able to pull that off. So, moving forward this year, there will not be bike corrals or a place to drop off your bike on Friday night if you've been accustomed to that in the past. You will bring your bike with you on either Saturday or Sunday morning, whatever day that you're riding. And then as it relates to shuttles and transportation, this is also something we're going to monitor throughout the spring and summer months. When we think about, putting people inside of, shuttles, putting 40 to 50 people inside, it becomes a safety concern. And so we're going to ask you to coordinate and have your own rides. And again, as we go through the spring and the summer months, if we can, continue to work with, Department of Health and other, state, county, local officials and create a safe scenario to host shuttles, then we will.
Awesome. Lots of questions about when you guys will be able to see the exact route by turn routes. Those are coming very soon. Lauren and Chris from our team are working really hard to get those finalized, and we'll have those available for the community coming soon. And then another question for Eric: how do we let you know who we are riding with so we can be staged together? Can you explain what that will look like for community members?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as Doug alluded to, the start line process is going to be dramatically different. We're going to be doing way more waves with smaller groups of people. So for those that are in pelotons and want to start together, that creates a bit of a dynamic. It's also important to know that we're going to have 2 start lines at each location. So as an example, and these are still to be determined, but if we look at the downtown start locations, we likely will be pushing off from 2 different locations, maybe McPherson Commons and Columbus Commons. So that creates another dynamic. But again, our goal is to keep everyone as safe as possible and spread out as possible. And again, to steal a line from Doug, this may sound self-serving, but to the extent that you can get your Peloton members signed up earlier, that'll help us try and determine how we can stage you as Peloton mates together in those different routes. Now, throughout that morning when we stage people and send them on their way for their rides, it could be as early as 7 or 7:30 a.m. Again, details to be finalized here, and go as late as 11 or 11:30 a.m. So a much larger window of start times here. Obviously, we're going to send off the 100-mile riders earlier, and the 20-mile riders, we cascade that down. The 20-mile riders will go off later in the day. So we can try our best, and we're going to need a little bit of grace here. I'm just going to say this on the front end. We're going to try our best to stage you with your Peloton members if you're both doing, the 20-mile routes or the 50-mile route. But we can't stage you if you're doing 100 and another teammate of yours is doing 20, as an example. So we're going to do our best to put you in groups. The sooner you can, get your teammates registered, that'll allow us to start to kind of map that out. I will also be completely transparent with you. And if you say, hey, I ride on, Team Buckeye and I would love to ride with so-and-so on Team Huntington, that's going to be really difficult for us to stage at the start lines. So we're going to ask you to, potentially meet up, down the route at some point, maybe at a rest stop or along the road.
Awesome. And then Doug, there's a few questions about what out-of-towners can expect from a housing perspective. Can you go ahead and let them know what they can expect in housing situations for them?
Yeah, absolutely. We are thrilled to welcome people to town for the event this year, and so appreciate people taking the time and traveling in. Obviously, without the overnight accommodations at Kenyon, we've designed a loop route on Sunday that starts and finishes in New Albany. And the advantage of that for both out-of-town riders as well as people who just want to tackle a one-day 100-mile ride is that you're starting and finishing in the same place. So there's no transportation needed, no bike transportation needed, et cetera. So within the next few weeks, there will be lots of options listed on our website related to housing opportunities in the New Albany area, where you can spend the night and ride your bike to the start and ride your bike back to your accommodation afterwards if you so choose. So the idea is really to give people as much optionality as possible. And some people may choose to just ride the 100 on Sunday rather than Saturday, given the loop nature. And it's still going to be a beautiful route and a beautiful ride and a great experience.
Awesome. Chad asked a great question about poll. Will poll donations be included this year? Unfortunately, poll will not be a way to fundraise in 2021, but we are really excited about the technology enhancements that are coming throughout the year and some great opportunities for the community to partake in. And then Jill, I'll throw this one over to you. Amy asked if we'll be able to change our distances as we could in the past.
Yep, absolutely. So right now, whenever you register, starting on Thursday, moving forward, you will select your route distance during the registration process. In a couple weeks after that, we'll give you the ability to edit that up, down, sideways, whatever you want, commitment wise and route distance wise. And that'll go until July 8th. And at that point, that's kind of the stake in the ground that we do every year for when you can't decrease your commitment, you can only increase it. So it's kind of a two-part answer. Yes, you can do that. It's just the website functionality for the first couple of weeks is going to be limited. So you can't self-service that on your own. But this spring, think about making your final decision there.
Awesome. Rex had a great question about any available social media posts that we can pass on to friends about the Challenger participation type. Absolutely. We will be posting about participation throughout the coming weeks. And if you're interested in having these directly, we can definitely share that with you all as well. And then it looks like there was a question about creating a Peloton. We love our Pelotons, Eric and I specifically. Would love to work with you on creating a Peloton. All we need is 5 registrations that are active for 2021. If you can send us those, and I will answer this and put my email in the actual Q&A box. But if you send us those, we can get the Peloton up and running for you all for 2021. And let's see, there's a few more questions. I saw a question about the Berwick. Eric, do you want to talk about the Berwick events that are happening this week and when you can pick those up? Specifically Wednesdays, that was the question, if that is closed.
Yeah, I saw that question in there too. So Wednesday is closed. The Berwick needs enough time to prepare those meals for pickup on Wednesday. So that option is no longer available. However, there are still 2 other pickup options available. If you go to pelotonia.org/events, you will be redirected towards, you'll see a link to redirect towards the Berwick site to order your meal. Thursday night's pickup location is in Bexley at the St. Charles Preparatory School. And then Friday night's event will be on OSU's campus at the Ackerman building, and all the details are in there. So apologize that the Wednesday night pickup location is now closed, but hopefully the Columbus location is a little bit, it's not too far away. So that could be an option for you as well on Friday night.
Awesome.
And of note, so 10% of your order will be donated back to your fundraising efforts. I should call that out too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of love for Jill's t-shirt today. That is I think a 2019 Pride tee. It's not in the shop anymore, but we do a Pride tee every summer. So those are some of my favorite tees. They're the most colorful and bright. So
I'm happy to auction this off for donations too, by the way.
Maybe
if we want to do that, anything for the cause.
Awesome. A couple more questions before we wrap things up for today. Given the circumstances, will opening ceremonies be performed this year? Doug, do you want to touch on our current plans and tentative ideas for that?
Sure. Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, the traditional opening ceremony with 15 to 20,000 people eating and drinking over hours and hours is probably not in the cards. So we're looking at a myriad of options ranging from similar to what we had last year, which is Pelotonia Live or Legends Live, to other opportunities that might exist for a more focused program where people are spaced out for a very short period of time. Again, this is one of those things where we're going to monitor as the spring and summer get closer, and we'll be able to determine based on the public health guidelines and restrictions that the county and city and the state have at the time. So stay tuned, more to come on that, but we know that bringing the community together is a powerful part of what Pelotonia means. And so we're going to come up with something creative and innovative for everybody.
Awesome. A couple questions about Peloton members and riding the same miles. Peloton members do not need to ride the same miles. They can register however they choose. Pelotons can be a combination of riders, challengers, and volunteers. Really, however your community wants to register and fundraise for innovative cancer research. And then Randy Duncan had a question about how food and drinks at rest stops will be handled. I guess, Doug, you're unmuted. We'll get that one back to you then.
Yes, great question. So good news, bad news. The bad news is you probably won't get homemade peanut butter and jelly sandwiches where you get to stick your hand into the container and choose the one that looks best to you. Not going to happen this year. The good news is we are working with lots of partners to replace that yummy homemade sandwich with some other options. So food will be prepackaged. We're working on some peanut butter and jelly options that are prepackaged, not to worry. And there'll be plenty of other types of food and beverages that will be safe. So you might imagine you probably won't be putting your hands onto a spigot from a water monster, but those water bottles will be filled up for you, etc. So we're working through all the logistics of that, but rest assured the rest stops will be reimagined and redesigned so that when you pull in, it's very specific as to where you'll put your bike, where you can eat and drink, and then those bike racks can be wiped down, the bathrooms can be cleaned, etc. So I'm really proud of our team for going above and beyond to plan out every little detail that comes with planning during this type of situation we're all experiencing.
Some great work being done. And we're super excited for multiple different events happening this week to really engage you all while you're still at home. Karen asked a question about yard signs. We will have weekly yard sign pickup at the office. Myself or Eric will be there. We'll send out some more information after launch week because you guys are getting a lot of communication this week. But most importantly, we hope that you guys are able to join us on Thursday and register and really help us make 2021 a legendary year. All of you have already started that by being here with us today. Please let us know if you have any more questions. Feel free to email pelotonia@pelotonia.org and we'll help you out before you guys get registered for 2021. But thank you so much, guys. And we're looking forward to making a legendary impact with you guys this year.